So you're thinking about being a travel agent and selling travel professionally in the travel industry. My name is Nick with Travel Agent Mentor, and I want to have an honest conversation today about a topic that we don't really talk much about. And a lot of people just hear these sensationalized, how good they're going to feel when they're making money remotely and staying home with their kids and watching money just flow into their checking account. It honestly is not like that really at all. So I've got a few notes here, and I want to talk about everything that you need to know about the reality of booking travel as a travel professional. So I think number one I want to talk about is there is an insane amount of training that you have to do to be proficient and knowledgeable in this industry, to do what we do. And just because you do all the trainings and all the mentoring and all the coaching call and all the Zoom calls, that might translate into 0 bookings or maybe like 1 or 2. So just be aware, the training does not always equal success. The training and mentoring doesn't equal more sales and more bookings. The reality is this is a tough industry, and you're fighting a public perception that travel agencies don't really exist. A lot of people, if you go out to the general public right now and poll people, right, like what you see on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram, right? There's sometimes like lawyers and all these people that go out in the public and just ask people walking down the street, hey, do you know about financial planners or travel agents or realtors? You're going to find out most people don't realize that travel agencies exist. They think we kind of died off. So there is this public perception that we're constantly facing that we don't really exist, that we're not here. And right? And why is that? Because most of us are part of a home-based business model where we work either independently with a consortium or with a host agency. A host agency is basically a brokerage. So just understand, you might do all the best marketing. You might hire content creators. You might be making really great YouTube videos. You might be doing everything right and done all the training and mentoring. And I got to be honest, it might translate into no money. You might make no revenue from this. I'm not saying that's true and that's what's going to happen. But the reality is I've mentored quite a few people that did everything right. And guess what? They just didn't really have people that wanted to book with them. They just wanted to plan the trip themselves or take the information that you gave them and just go book it online, because that's what a lot of people have been trained to do, right? Since the inception of Google and the internet, right? Everything has kind of become more DIY. And this goes on to another point, and I think this is really important. It's really difficult to sometimes find good quality customers that want you to do this for them. Most people just want the information, the name of a company, and go online and call or email or book it on an online booking engine. That's just the reality. A lot of people want that. They're used to that, right? People go to YouTube, right, to figure out how to like fix like, you know, a drain, right, that's plugged, or why an electrical outlet isn't working, or how to, you know, fix a cabinet or something, right? Everything has become very DIY. There's a lot of people showing people how to do things themselves, especially on platforms like YouTube, Pinterest, even all the other social media platforms. So just know it is difficult to find good quality customers. It could take years sometimes to find good customers. I've gone through a wave of really good, and then like a whole string of like just people that like I didn't really want to work with. So just understand there are forces kind of working against you. So even if you do all the best training, even if you do all the mentoring, you go to the conferences, you do everything right, you might not really have customers. And I think a lot of people think they listen to these people on social media that are especially recruiting people to get into the travel agent industry. And most of them are recruiting because they earn an affiliate or a referral fee, especially with like the host agencies that are affiliated with really big MLMs. Those are, you know, you're probably going to find in your research like IntelliTravel, Evolution, Archer, right? If someone refers you, right, they get a really big referral fee of several $100s, plus then they get a percentage of your commission as well, like called your upstream and downstream and all that. I'm not going to get into that in this video. This account is not about, you know, MLMs. So I'm just telling you, a lot of people are going to make it sound like this is just so easy. A lot of people sensationalize that. They're going to say, don't you just wish you could be traveling with your computer and your phone and just making money sipping cocktails on the beach? Yeah, I've earned a commission check while I was on the beach. I think at one point we get paid every 2 weeks, every week or 2 weeks. So I'm sure a commission check came in at some point when I was not like at my home in the US. So just understand there's a lot of people sensationalizing this to get you into the industry, this whole recruiting thing. And I think we needed to just talk about it. There just needs to be an open conversation about it, so you don't end up joining just because you kind of fell for some marketing that was just sensationalizing the emotions of what it would be like if you did earn a lot of money remotely and online on your own schedule, right? Anyone who has their own company, basically you make your own schedule anyway. So that's not really that whole, we're going to make a whole video about it. But I have a few other notes here I want to just talk about. The sales cycle, if you haven't noticed, in the travel agent industry is really long. It's kind of like being a realtor. That is the most closest parallel industry that we have. And so it's not like selling a car, right? Someone comes into a dealership, you talk to the sales professional on the floor, and maybe they come back in a week and then buy it, right? That's kind of like what happens. A lot of people just do a little research at home, make sure that's the model car they want. Maybe they need an SUV, something a little bigger. Maybe they want a pickup truck. Maybe they're thinking about getting a camper. Maybe they're thinking about starting a family. They need the stow and go, the Dodge Caravan, right? The sales cycle for other industries is very short. With us, it's very long. So basically, if clients cancel their trip, unless there's certain types of travel protection added on, and it's not always guaranteed with every plan, but you basically might be working with someone for a year or two and not get paid. It's kind of like working with a realtor. Imagine you were a client buying a home, you're working with a realtor, right, a real estate professional, and you're looking at houses, you keep looking, and then you run into an issue with like the inspection. And then you say, okay, well, we really don't want to buy this house because the foundation is in really bad shape. Then you go look again, then you make an offer, then you get to the contract, right? You can go on and on and on for months. So the same in the travel industry. Sometimes you work with clients and then it sounds like they're ready to book. You send them everything and then they don't get back to you for a month or 6 weeks. So they're like, oh, sorry, we had, birthday parties, we had soccer, the kids had this, we went to Disney, sorry, we just got laid off. There's, you don't always, the communication is not always perfect. And then also clients sometimes just are not ready to book. They just want information. And I have had that kind of go both ways where they did come back and book later, and sometimes you just never hear from them again. And it's okay. You don't have to take it personal. But just understand the sales cycle, the amount of time from the client reaching out to you and you actually getting paid is really long. And most of the time, our commissions don't come into the industry until like a month after the client gets home from their trip. Sometimes 2 weeks is average. A month. I've seen sometimes 6 weeks, 2 months maybe or more. It can just be a really long time before you get paid. So anybody out there who's trying to tell you to get in the industry and hurry up and sign up right now, I would not hurry up and sign up right now. I would really think this through. You're going to need some cash in the bank. You're going to need savings. And you're also going to need to be financially fit where you have money coming in now to pay your bills and stuff, right? Not everyone can work on a commission type model. Right? It's only for certain kinds of people. I paid off all my bills. I paid off my house. I sold my house, sold my car, and paid off my student loans. I am in really good financial shape. I basically don't have any bills right now, which is the first time in a long time that's happened. So for me, if I go months without income, it's okay. Right? That's okay. If you're home with a mortgage, you have kids, that's a whole different story. So just make sure you really think through what your position is right now. What is your situation like? Don't let anyone recruit you into the industry. I think it's terrible that a lot of people spend all their effort instead of selling travel. They just keep trying to make content online, trying to get you to join the industry. And I got to say, this industry is not for everybody. It's really not, right? A lot of realtors, there's turnover. There's also a lot of turnover in the travel agency industry, a lot. I think it's up to 80% of new people quit in the first year. That's a lot of turnover. So, and plus add on now the amount of time you're going to have to invest in training and mentoring and to just figure it out. It's a lot. So you really have to think this through. I have a few more notes, so I just wanted to add a few more things here. So really you need to ask yourself too, this goes into another video I made, and I'm going to make another video because I think this topic is so important. It's, are you prepared to do the marketing? And so a lot of us market on social media. I don't market locally because I don't live in my hometown. I also don't market to clients directly in the city where I was working professionally as a pharmacist for 8 years. So I was in El Paso, Texas for many years. Loved it. Great place, great part of the world. Plus we have like the best Mexican food, let's be real. But if you're not going to market locally or to like say moms and dads in your kids' school network or sporting groups and stuff like that, you're probably going to end up marketing through social media at some point. And just know there's a lot of us doing it. If you're going to just sell cruises and all-inclusives, I got to tell you, especially Disney too, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot more people now on platforms like TikTok. When I was on, like we were getting leads all the time and booking them. Like we were in the top 2% for I think 2 months in a row. I think I got the award I think 3 times. We got the top 2% country for commission earned and for sales booked, which is awesome. It was awesome. Listen, don't get me wrong, it's awesome, but everyone now is online. And then a lot of people, unfortunately, don't have good morals and ethics and end up bashing other travel agencies to say, don't book with them. I'll give you this. I'll give you more. And it's extremely competitive if you're marketing on social media. So you really have to know what type of persona. Are you targeting single moms? Are you targeting families with young kids? Are you targeting families with teens? Are you looking for more adventure and exploration and discovery travel, maybe more exotic places like the Galapagos and maybe Alaska and parts of Eastern Europe, the Balkans, or, there's a lot of different regions of the world. Almost everyone defaults to doing Disney, and let's include Universal, right? And then cruises and all-inclusives. That's kind of where most people start. You don't have to start with that. You can market anything you want. But just understand, though, too, like what I said in the beginning of this video, you're going to need people that care about someone helping them make the right decisions, right? And basically providing consultation services, right? That's really what we do. We're not really travel agents, just booking engines. We are travel consultants, right? So those words are really synonymous, but if you want to use a different term, travel consultant is probably the best word that describes what we do, because we are a lot more than just the booking. We are there as a resource as well. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you can do me a huge favor, let me know in the comments below. Are you thinking about getting in the industry, and have you kind of heard some things and you're kind of maybe just not getting like a clear message or answer, or, are you already in the industry you're working in? You've kind of seen some of these things too. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what your thoughts are. And as always, I'd appreciate a follow. It doesn't cost you anything, but that does tell YouTube and these other platforms that this video is valuable and you got something out of it. So I appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.